wonder deep in outer space, could there be another human face? Is there life or thoughts evolving? Who's to say what we cannot see? Am I you? Are you really me? Are we believing or just perceiving?
Hello there, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of Weave Your Web Revived. Is it really Season 2, Episode 4? That doesn't seem right. How are you doing? Welcome on in. I hope you've had a good week or so since the previous episode went out. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're having a good time. My name is Tor James Faulkner. I am a celebrity psychic with over 10 years experience of being a psychic in the online sphere, as well as being a psychic on things like TV, radio, magazine. You get the idea. And I have a whole bunch of spiritual qualifications under my belt. I'm not going to bore you with all of them, but they include things like law of attraction. I'm an angelic therapist. And really, this was just to give you, the people who listen regularly will be sick of me saying all that, but this is just to give you a bit of an idea of who I am if you've never heard of me before, if you've never heard of the show before, because since launching Season 2, the show has gone to a few new platforms. So welcome on in to all the new people. It's really, really nice to meet you. I hope that you enjoy your time. I hope that you've enjoyed all the previous episodes and all the new ones to come. So thank you for listening. And while we're on the topic of that, I have a very important question for all of you. So, to get in touch with the show, the information will be on the app or the page wherever you're listening to the show. And I'd like you to get in touch with me and let me know if you would like the occasional live version of the show. Would you like a live format version of the show? Maybe not all the time, maybe not every single episode, but maybe every so often a live Weave Your Web Revived. And as you're doing that, let me know how and where you would like that to take place. Is it a social media platform where you'd like to consume that kind of thing? Would it be a particular podcast platform? Maybe, on the website, torjamesfaulkner.com. It could be, something could be arranged there. Let me know. I'm gonna leave it in your hands. And partly why I'm asking is because I record the show as live anyway. I do a bit of a sound test, get all the giggles out, and then record the show as if it's, a live broadcast anyway. On this episode of the show, we have a psychic news story, we have a glitch story, and then I'm going to answer one of your listener questions, and we'll have our general angel card. And oh my goodness me. The news story comes from the Associated Press this week, and the headline is Virginia City repeals ban on psychic readings as industry grows and gains more acceptance. Let me try that headline again. Just proving the point that I record this as live. Completely unintentionally. Let me try that headline again. Virginia City repeals ban on psychic readings as industry grows and gains more acceptance. Now, again, for the new people, for the people who are, just listening on the new platforms, etc., I don't read the stories before reading them on the show. So as you're hearing them and reacting to them, I'm hearing them and reacting to them. Norfolk VA. Would VA be Vancouver? Ashley Branton has earned a living as a psychic medium for 7 years, helping a growing number of people with heavy choices about toxic relationships, home purchases, and cross-country moves. And while the tarot cards are never wrong, she said, they didn't see this coming. The city council in Norfolk, Virginia. Oh, of course it's Virginia, not Vancouver. Never mind. Sorry, Virginia. Repealed a 45-year-old ban this week on the practice of palmistry, palm reading, or clairvoyance for monetary or other compensation. Isn't palmistry and palm reading the same thing? Soothsaying, it turned out, has been a first-degree misdemeanor and carried up to a year in jail. Are you kidding me? I had no idea that was even a thing, Branton said with a laugh. Thursday, among the crystals in her Norfolk shop. Velvet Witch. Oh, that's a nice name for a shop. Where she also performs tarot readings and psychic healings. I'm glad it's never come down on me, she says. It's unclear exactly why the city of 230,000 people on the Chesapeake Bay, home to the nation's largest Navy base, versions of the ban had existed for decades before. Norfolk spokeswoman Kelly Straub said in an email that it was repealed because it is no longer used. City council members said little during their vote Tuesday, although one joked that somebody out there predicted this was going to pass. That's tickled me more than it should have. Jokes aside, the city's... Sorry. It's one of those days. It's one of those giggly days. Jokes aside, the city's repeal comes as the psychic services industry is growing in the US, generating an estimated $2.3 billion in revenue last year and employing 97,000 people, according to a 2023 report from market research firm IBIS World. 97,000 psychics in the States alone. Wow. I'm shocked. I had no idea that this, in the States alone, was a 2.3 billion industry. And there's 97,000 employed psychics in the States alone. I am genuinely shocked. In late 2017, a Pew Research Center survey found that most American adults identify as Christian, but many also hold New Age beliefs, with 4 in 10 believing in the power of psychics. A 2009 survey for the Pew Research Center's Religion and Public Life Project found that 1 in 7 Americans had consulted a psychic. Branton, 42, who previously worked as a makeup artist, said the market is expanding for psychic mediums because social media has fueled awareness. Now, we've spoken about this on the show many times before, how dangerous social media can be for vulnerable people who can fall to psychic scams on social media, as well as some psychic platforms too. So while she's right that, you know, it is fueling the industry and it is raising awareness and potentially more people are aware that psychic readings are even a thing, it is worth noting that not every psychic on social media is going to be a genuine psychic. There will be, I mean, people were obviously in the know about this 2.3 billion industry and, you know, trying to kind of capitalize off of it. I'm still shocked at that 2.3 billion industry in the States alone. I mean, that's the States alone. Anyway, let's carry on with the story. An aversion to organized religion also plays a role along with the nation's divisive politics and a growing sense of uncertainty, particularly among millennials and younger generations. Ever since COVID, people have been carrying this weight. They're just carrying so much, Brandon said. And people are starting to do inner work, she continued. They're starting to take care of their mental health, and they're starting to take care of the spiritual aspect. Branton said she considers her work a calling. Psychic gifts run in her family, and she has had them her whole life. I always had interactions with spirits, she said. I've always been an empath. I can feel people's energies. Branton said she's built up her clientele through word of mouth without any advertising. I'm very proud of that, she said. There's going to be scammers and people out there doing this just for the money. I'm nodding along. Obviously, this is my way of living now, but it was never about money for me. In 2022, AARP warned of scam psychics who prey on people who are grieving, lonely, or struggling emotionally, physically, or financially. Yeah. And some bans remain in place. In October, the police chief in Hanover, Pennsylvania, told a witchcraft-themed store that any complaints about tarot card readings would prompt an investigation, the New York Times reported. Oh. The police chief cited an old state law that makes it illegal to predict the future for money. In 2007, the city of Philadelphia cited the same law when it shut down more than a dozen psychics, astrologers, and tarot card readers. The Philadelphia Inquirer reported. That's really, really interesting. I did not know. This is completely news to me. This is brand new information. That there was laws in the States actually prohibiting people from divination. That's really... I'm shocked. Again, I'm shocked. I had no idea that it was, a billion, a huge money, like that big of a money maker in the States, and I'm sure elsewhere. Had no idea there was so many working, employed psychics in the States. And I had no idea that, there was laws against it. Fortune-telling bans stem from anti-witchcraft and... Sorry, let's try that again. Fortune-telling bans stemmed from anti-witchcraft laws in 18th century England, says Charles, a professor of religious studies at Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, Florida. The American laws took hold in the mid-19th century, an era of growing concern about fraudulent business practices, McRae said. But the spiritualism movement, which often involved channeling the dead, was also growing in popularity, particularly among the middle and upper classes. There was something about these white spiritualist women that I think troubled a lot of people, McRae said. Part of what made it threatening was it couldn't be written off as something that people do or something for the marginal, he added. It was very popular, and so more mainstream Christians found it especially threatening, and a lot of people were Christians, and a lot of people were Christians who also did seances. Such laws faced little scrutiny from the courts at first, said David L. Hudson, a law professor at Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee, and a fellow with the Freedom Forum think tank in Washington. The Ohio Supreme Court upheld a state law in 1928 that regulated fortune-telling I'm just adding words in. It states... Hold on. I'm really excited by this story. I apologise for the giggles and randomness of the words. The Ohio Supreme Court upheld a state law in 1928 that regulated fortune-telling, writing that liberty of speech is not licensed to speak anything that one pleases, freed from all criminal or civil responsibility. Other courts reasoned that fortune-telling was commercial speech, which received no First Amendment protection until the mid-1970s. More recently, courts have increasingly viewed bans on fortune-tellers with skepticism on First Amendment grounds. Maryland Supreme Court ruled in 2010 that fortune-telling for a fee is protected free speech. We've come a long way both in terms of social norms and social acceptance, Hudson told the Associated Press, likening psychic readings to tattoos. But also there's been a massive development of First Amendment law. It's very disfavoured to entirely ban a medium of expression. Even though Norfolk's ban was practically forgotten and no longer enforced, Carol Peterson is relieved about the repeal. She owns the Crystal Sunflower, a store in Norfolk that offers tarot card readings and vibrational sound therapy. I've always wanted to do that. That's something that I haven't explored. It's something that I haven't done. She is also a civilian geologist for the military. Ooh. I was like, oh my god, I could get a class 1 misdemeanor, Peterson said. People have this misconceived notion that tarot is evil or demonic, Peterson added, but you're helping people tap into their highest self for their journey, and if people would be more curious instead of judgmental, I think that they would be pleasantly surprised. That's the end of the article. I found that, I was very, very excited by that. I'm literally on the edge of my seat. Very, very literally on the edge of my seat. What do you think about that? Did you know that there were laws in certain states prohibiting divination, prohibiting tarot readings? Did you know that they could shut, spiritual stores down? This is all brand new information to me. And, these repeals and people forgetting about the laws and psychic readings being protected by the First Amendment. That's... Wow. Very, very, very excited about that. Let me know your thoughts. Going to take a very, very quick break, and I'll be right back.
It's a great big universe. We can't be who came here first. Step aside of your mind. It's so very deep down there. We walk around without a care. Step aside of your time. Is it all an illusion? Dressed up in confusion. Step aside. Step outside.
Hello there, welcome back to Weave Your Web Revived. Now, gonna have a glitch in the Matrix story, and the title of this is My Wife and I Saw Our 5-year-old Daughter, but Older. This happened a few months ago in early January. My wife and I were in the kitchen prepping lunch and chatting. Our 5-year-old daughter was in the living room watching TV. No one else was in the house. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and the layout of the house allows us to see a bit of the corridor and hallway outside of the kitchen door. My wife was cutting up food, and I was sitting behind her. As we talked, she started to turn around to face me, but stopped midway, staring at the kitchen door. She froze up completely, and I remember asking, "What is it?" She let out a gasp, and then I instinctively looked towards the door as well. I saw a brief glimpse of what seemed like a person turning the corner, towards the living room. It happened very fast, but I was sure I saw someone. I panicked. My immediate thought was, holy F, someone broke in. My daughter's alone in the living room. The only thing I thought of doing was grabbing a knife and yelled at my wife to call the police. I rushed into the corridor and into the living room. In the living room, there was nothing. My kid was just sitting on the couch watching Bluey. She looked at me and asked, "What's up?" with a confused expression. Mind you, I had a knife in my hand and probably looked crazy. I tried to play it off and asked if she saw anyone come in the room. She hadn't, and was clueless about what I was talking about. I searched the living room and the rest of the house. No sign of a break-in. Windows closed. And we live on the third floor. If someone had tried to escape that way, they would have fallen really bad. I checked everywhere. Wardrobes, behind curtains, the front door. Nothing. No signs of entry, and the front door was totally closed, and we didn't hear anyone come in or anything of the sort. This all happened within maybe 10 minutes. I went back to the kitchen where my wife was crying. She had frozen up and didn't call the cops. I calmed her down. She got scared bad, and she couldn't even speak properly. When she calmed down, she explained to me what she saw. I personally only caught a very quick glimpse of the thing turning around the corner. However, my wife said she got a good look at it. She says she saw what looked like a tall woman dressed in a floral dress and high heels walking across the corridor. Neither of us heard any sound. She said the woman stopped when she understood she was seen, looked at my wife in the eyes, and my wife swears the figure looked like her daughter, but older. This happened in the space of seconds when she first froze up in shock. When my wife gasped, the woman hurried and turned the corner into the living room. I only saw the last part. If I hadn't caught a glimpse of it, I would ask my wife to go into therapy or something, but I know something was there. We never figured out what we saw, but it was definitely the strangest moment of my life, and I know it happened. Ooh, that must have been a shock. It sounds like the wife took that very, very hard. Very, very hard. It must have been a shock. I can imagine that being scary. You know, the husband, the father, went into, dad mode, didn't he? Wanting to, confront the potential intruder there. That sounds like, one of those proper time glitches that you hear about, the certain parts of the world where you walk down the street and you maybe, you go back in time or you go forward in time. And that sounds like what's happened there. They've been in the kitchen. They've seen the daughter, older, walking through the house, possibly, 10, 20 years in the future. Very, very scary, very, very unnerving for this couple. And if you hear this, I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're not still, in a state of shock, and just chalk it down to a little glitch. Just chalk it down to a little glitch. I can understand that it's scary, but it's not, it doesn't sound menacing. Scary, but not menacing. Our psychic reading question, and if you would like to send in a question to the show to get a free mini reading here on the show, all you have to do is email it to me via the contact form on torjamesfaulkner.com. Certain apps and places that you're listening to this to, they'll have an email button or a little form that you can fill in. Just make sure that you put that it's for the show. Put your question. Don't ask anything super duper urgent because there is no set schedule for the show. And I'll answer it here for you. So our question comes from Saji. Hi Saji. How's it going? And you don't even have to give me your real name or anything. You can put a nickname like Saji has. Well, I'm assuming Saji's a nickname. I'm assuming Saji's short for Sagittarius. Might not be. I might just be assuming. But you don't have to give me your real name. You can give me an initial. You can give me a star sign. You can call yourself Duck Lips. It doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter. And the question is, I forgot to read the question, sorry. The question is, are there any changes coming in career? So, let's see, are there any changes coming in career? It looks like you've been wanting, hoping for changes for a while. It looks like you've been kind of working hard towards changes, kind of putting the work in, making sure everything is ready for a change. And it looks like you've been waiting a while. Have you been possibly waiting for 7 years? Would that be right? 7 years waiting for promotion, something? In any case, it's a yes. We have a yes coming up here. There is the same golden opportunity in my ear. So that's what I'm going to give you, okay? There is a golden opportunity coming up for career here. I'm actually seeing a gold record. So they're saying golden opportunity, they're showing me a gold record, and they're saying yes for career changes. Let's see when this might come. Can we get a when for Sagi? I would say 5 weeks to 2 months. So it's not going to happen before 5 weeks from now. So this is mid-June. But it's probably not going to be after 2 months. So, yeah. So between 5 weeks and 2 months is the when. And I think that the reason for that is there might be 2 things that come along at once. There might be 2 things that come along at once that are kind of similar golden opportunities. One of them potentially more what you want, but one of them potentially more life-changing, if that makes any sense. But you would only be able to do one. You'll know which one that you want to do as soon as you see the paperwork, as soon as you see the email coming in, the phone call, all of that. You'll know which one it is. But I feel like you kind of need to look into both up until like you absolutely have to make the choice. All right. I hope that made sense. And I hope that it was of some benefit there, Saji. And we'll do the general energy angel card now. It often ends up being a few angel cards. But we'll say angel card. And so this is just for anyone who happens to be listening to this. If it doesn't resonate, don't take it. Don't take the info. If it does resonate, take it. And I always kind of like to say with these two is that they're not necessarily for everyone. The intention is that it's for everyone and anyone who's listening. But sometimes the messages can be a little bit more specific. So it might be that it's a very, very specific message for one person who's listening. And it might be the only way to get that guidance to them, right? And then other times it might be something that everybody who's listening needs to hear like a gentle, pat on the back, what have you. I've just punched the microphone. I'm a great podcaster, me. Okay, let's get this general angel card. Shuffle, shuffle. That shuffling noise is very annoying down the microphone for me, so I apologise. The card that comes up here is from Archangel Haniel. And it's the inspiration card. It's the inspiration cards. Part of the message that comes with this, okay, the first thing that I'm hearing with this card is that it's okay to be different. It's okay to be different. Stop trying to fit in all the time. Stop trying to be like everybody else all the time. Stop wearing what everybody else is wearing. Stop doing the makeup like everybody else is doing the makeup. It's okay to be different. You don't have to act like a silly Billy because other people are acting like a silly Billy. It's actually okay to get up from, the dinner table, the cafeteria table, show me a table, and walk away from people who are being the silly Billy. Because when we try and copy everybody else all the time, it actually limits our inspiration a little bit. It limits what inspires us. And it also limits our creativity a bit because we're kind of putting ourselves in that box. And I think what a lot of people don't realise is that when there's like a group of people like that, so let's say it's high school. And let's say it's, 5 girls and they all wear the exact same outfit and they have their hair, in the same exact way to try and fit in with each other and to try and fit in with the general crowd. They're all kind of feeling the same way a lot of the time, where it's like they don't really necessarily want to be behaving or doing that, but they don't really know what else to do, and they're kind of stifling themselves too. And I think that we all kind of feel as if we're the only ones who feel like the outsider, but I think that everybody a little bit feels like the outsider. So they're just trying to fit into, they're just trying to get through the day and fit into, so don't. It's okay to be different. The kind of underlying, sorry for my tummy rumbling by the way, the kind of underlying message with this is don't be too inspired. Don't take too much inspiration from other people, because it will limit you. It will limit your, there we go. Look, the next card that comes up here is self-esteem. So building up our own self-esteem by allowing ourselves to be ourselves, by allowing ourselves to inspire ourselves and be creative and self-fulfilling is what's really going to fuel the inspiration that we need. And that self-esteem card comes up from Raphael. And that's it. That's the angel message. Don't take too much inspiration or information. No, I'm just joking. All information has its purpose. Don't take too much inspiration from people around just to fit in. Work on building our own self-esteem. And that's the show. Thank you very, very much for listening. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed you know what? I really, really enjoyed this episode's psychic news story. I really did. I'm still a little bit shocked by it, and yeah, it was just really, really interesting. It was packed full of really, really good information. In fact, if you've had an experience with a psychic law like that being enforced, or if a psychic law, if a law regarding psychic readings or tarot or astrology or anything like that has maybe stopped you either having a reading, providing readings, whether you're in the States or anywhere else. Let me know your experience. I would love to hear some people's first-hand experience of that. Anyway, thank you very, very much for listening. I'll see you next time. Go power.
There's a notion that I can't ignore. There is more beyond the garden door. Is this life? Or timelines merging? Timelines merging. On a distant moon beyond the Kepler, there's a soulmate who just hasn't met ya. Is this life? Just reaffirming, reaffirming. Who's to say what we cannot see? Am I you? Are you really me? Are we believing? Or just perceiving? It's a great big universe. We can't be who came here first. Step outside.